back to Georgina Life. So, Georgina, did you know that there's energy behind the words that you use? Well, here to talk about all of this and more is Pamela Robinson, owner of the Aquarian Shift. Welcome to Georgina Life. This is so intriguing.
Yes, this is.
Like,
yes.
So intriguing because it's
I
true,
wrote it
right?
down.
Right? It's so true. So tell us a little bit about the Aquarian Shift and what we're talking about today.
The Aquarian Shift is about bridging spirituality with the human experience. Okay. We often walk through life like it's separate, and it very much needs to be integrated. Mm-hmm. So speaking about the power of our words, we don't realize how we are impacting our own life just by the way we speak, mm-hmm. whether it's externally or internally. So I teach people the ability to understand how their language is either holding them back or enhancing where they're going. Mm-hmm. One of the key words that a lot of people use a lot is tried. I'm trying, or I tried.
Yeah, that's true.
And what happens is, as a therapist, I will tell people, well, if you came here looking for help, and I said, well, I'll try and help you, what would that do? Mm-hmm. And they kind of go, oh. And I'm like, yes, it plants a doubt.
Yes.
That's true.
And so when we're using that with ourselves, we're planting a doubt in our own mind, but we're also giving ourselves a justification for not doing something. So just think about the people that you've asked for help for something, and they go, I'll try. Do they usually follow through?
That's a good point.
Right?
No.
So it's being able, that's a word that's used for people who don't really know how to put a boundary in place and say, no, that I'm not able to do it.
That's true. And boundaries are so important too.
Boundaries are extremely important because we need to love ourselves first and not burn ourselves out trying to make sure everybody else is doing okay.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, that programming that we get from childhood.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. We will not allow ourselves to receive.
Yes.
And this is just, I know it's not unique to me, but I'm like 67, soon to be 68, and I swear until a couple of years ago, I would not allow myself to even give any thought mm-hmm. to that.
Absolutely.
And it's so important.
It's not uncommon. We're finding that more of the younger generation are stepping into an understanding of it.
Yes.
But they still have to bridge that spiritual aspect because sometimes they're too far out into the spiritual. I don't want to work. I want to barter. Right? Mm-hmm. But it's an element of, okay, if you have this wisdom, you want to be out in the real world working to enhance your experiences and your wisdom mm-hmm. and touch lives. So our generations have been very much in the human experience. Work hard, follow the rules.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yes.
Right? The younger generation isn't doing that. They're doing things very differently, and the older generation is often quite judgmental of it. But what we're doing is we're breaking family constructs, social constructs, and societal constructs.
That's huge.
That are not working anymore.
That's huge.
So this is what the Aquarian Shift is all about.
Okay.
Being able to help people to step into their own with confidence. Know that there is no right or wrong. There is no good or bad. Those words just create divide. Again, the power. Create divide between people. Mm-hmm. If we judge ourselves in exactly the same way, right, good or bad or right or wrong, we're creating a divide between the spiritual and the human experience. That spiritual wisdom needs to be integrated. We're born with it.
Right. I mean, and often people will say, we're not humans. What is it? We're not humans having a spiritual experience or whatever that is.
Yes.
We are from spirit having a human experience.
To awaken our wisdom.
Right.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Oh my God, that's way too deep for me, girl. It's too early in the day for that.
And we're not human doings. We are human
Beings.
But we are so accustomed to doing, working hard.
It's the way we were all raised, to your point.
And so it's that, there's where the divide also gets created between the younger generation. Family constructs get all, discombobulated, right?
Because for sure.
You're supposed to follow my rules and do things the way that I do it. And I remember going back to my mom. I'm 63, going back to my mom, so talking about all of this long before it was ever really spoken about, and said, look, you don't produce clones.
Oh boy. Yeah.
But that's what happens. And then the younger generation is breaking the generational trauma as well.
Yes.
Right.
It doesn't come out in the greatest way.
No.
But it's about breaking those cycles.
Well, is this something that you're going to be talking about at the Georgina Holistic Healing Summit.
Absolutely.
Okay, and that's coming up like really quickly.
It's coming up on Saturday.
Okay, super.
It's going to be at the Link in Sutton, and it's from 10 until 4. We have an amazing lineup of speakers that are speaking to various things. Myself, I will be sharing the stage with a young man by the name of EJ. Right. Shift your perspective, shift your life is our topic.
Wow.
So being able to help to understand. We also will be having Amy Marples, who will demystify homeopathic medicine.
Lovely.
A talk about a new approach to schooling with Lynda and Grant. Forgive me if that's pronounced wrong, but schooling approach for the next generation.
Wow.
So
Love
there's some really profound topics. We have a young woman, Natasha Rose, who's going to speak to us about nutrition and a holistic approach to healing. Drumming circle, interactive dance. We have a vendor walk, a healing garden. So there's an activity. Renata Love is coming in for children. Georgina and Diana, they're going to be the MC, and you know Gerard.
Yes.
Gerard.
Everybody knows Gerard.
Yes. Gerard has, spearheaded this.
Yes.
And we have a great team of people. So really looking forward to this. There's going to be activities for the kids. Yeah. There is going to be, Renata, I think, is actually opening the children to their resilience.
Oh, that's great.
So helping them to understand a little bit more about themselves. So it's all the stuff that generally isn't spoken about.
No, and this comes at a good time because everybody is talking about how the world is changing.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And so many people are so afraid of change.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's because, we have those old constructs and everybody's trying to break them down, but so many people don't understand that you have to do that in order to have a rebirth in some way.
Absolutely. And we're constantly having rebirths in our life if we just open up to the fact.
Well,
Change is inevitable.
Well, yes. I mean, and I've always said I don't want any part of change for the sake of change, that there really needs to be a little oomph there for me, because I'd like to think that many of us in our age bracket are change agents from our own lives. Our life experience.
Absolutely.
But I mean, this is like a one-stop shop.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
like whatever's going on in your person,
There's
someone
literally
you can
something.
engage
Yeah,
with.
there's literally something for everyone. Even for, and I know we spoke before about being a skeptic.
Yes.
Even for the skeptic.
Yes.
Right? You never know what you're going to connect with, which is really beautiful. Getting back to the energy of our words.
Right.
If we're in a story, in a narrative that's about our pain of the past, that is about what people's opinions are, and we've internalized it,
Gosh, stop it.
that hamster wheel really does hold us back.
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
And it is a hamster wheel, but we don't realize that we can get off that hamster wheel, and we can actually stop it and then step into the wisdom. And that's what I help people to do, is to step into that wisdom. It's there. You might have to practice and dig a little deeper for it, because those conditioning and programming is so deep for
And I
so
always
long.
say we need to unlearn those learned behaviors.
Absolutely.
Right.
But when you do, magic happens.
Yes.
It really enhances your life. You live a more fulfilled, vibrant life, and you don't grow old before your time.
I love that.
Thank you. I needed to hear that today.
Well, and people can see you at the
Absolutely.
summit.
Okay.
I will be there. All of us that are there are open to conversations. Come up, say hi, speak to us.
Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
It's just
Fabulous.
different.
Yes, it is
It's
different, and we
different.
really look forward to being able to do that. We will be having a food drive, so any participants,
Perfect.
if you want to bring canned goods, dry goods, please do so. It's going
Super.
to the York region.
Perfect.
So we're big on giving back in whatever way we can as well.
Wonderful. Super.
Pamela, thank you
Thank
so
you
much
so
for being
much.
here. And
Okay.
Georgina, don't go anywhere because we have so much more on today's Georgina Live.